broke up with my girl last night, so I went to the club. Put on a fresh white suit and a mini coupe, sitting on dubs. I'm just looking for somebody to talk to and show me some love. If you know what I mean. Everybody talk.
Woo! That took me back.
Yeah.
That took me back.
Uh-oh.
Welcome, folks. This is your boy Slim Duckey. Over here to my left is DJ Money Mitch. And to my far left is Dos Uno. And this is the Not Up for Discussion podcast. Take two.
Yeah. Take two.
Y'all wasn't there for the blooper one, so.
Yeah, play as fuck up. So we're going to get into the sports, run through this real quick. Nigga, what?
I didn't ask for sound effects, but okay.
Yeah,
So
we're
what
going to get
happened
to the sports and run through this real quick. It's not that much going on this week in the sports, but the World Cup, we going into the semifinals. And we got France, Belgium, Croatia, and England.
No South American teams. Let's go ahead and just call it what it is.
No Brazil. Yeah. He said, oh. So France and Belgium face off 7-10-18, which I think is either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then Croatia and England face off 11-18, which I think is Wednesday. I didn't get a chance to watch much of any highlights on it, but it's been lit. You can tell in the city. Flags, everybody in the World Cup mood.
Yeah.
And
I call England to take it all.
England.
That's just mine.
Oh, see, I'm going to stay tuned this time. I'm going to see what's up this week.
Hello, love.
And then moving on to basketball, and we've had this topic with LeBron about every podcast that we did, but his name keep popping up, so we're going to have to report it. No,
I'm good.
His ex-coach, Tyronn Lue,
yeah.
And Luke Walton are supposed to be meeting, and Luke Walton supposedly reached out to him to see if he can get some advice as far as coaching LeBron.
That's a what the fuck moment.
Man, literally on my notes, what the fuck? That's what I. So okay, we'll just ask the main questions. And is it does it show lack of confidence, inexperience, as far as Luke, or is it just a good preparation as far as trying to be prepared to coach somebody that used to be his peer, or that you can still consider his peer, since they came in at the same draft?
Skirt. I say lack of experience.
Lack of experience. I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
And then
It's a little too early.
do you think Luke is going to actually make it next year? Being that he's coaching LeBron, he's coaching Rondo, which both have shown that they don't really deal with bullshit that much. The younger core seemed like to work real good with Luke because he knew how to handle them, but that's because he's a little bit older than enough. He's old enough to
He's
actually
a veteran.
Still be at the level of my...
It'd be the same way as if LeBron was coaching them. They're about the same age, but now it's like, okay, you and LeBron are the exact same age.
And y'all played against each other at one point.
Which goes back to the whole phrase of saying the LeBron show. I hope it don't turn into that.
Yeah.
Friendships do things differently. On the court, it should be just straight business.
Well, I don't even know if they've ever had a friendship.
No, I don't think they did.
Good.
He said good. So you think Luke is going to be able to handle that situation, or?
Well, I see LeBron hands down giving him a run for his money, for sure.
Even if
Now, hold on. When you say run for his money, what do you mean?
Like, I mean, like, as far as, like, him trying to, like, give him game and then LeBron be like, I don't know what you talking about, homie. Because, you know, when you start to get on that court and you start to see certain things, it's different from being a player on the court and seeing certain things and then being the coach on the sideline trying to be like, no, trust me.
Wait. I just thought about something, and I'm glad that this happened. Didn't Luke lightweight almost beat LeBron with the Golden State Warriors? Wasn't he coaching?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's why I kept on bringing it up to you. I was like, I feel like he has some experience. He doesn't have enough experience. He hasn't dealt with, I guess, a star of LeBron's caliber, but he's dealt with people that grew into their starring role. So he dealt with Klay Thompson before Klay Thompson became who he was. Draymond before Draymond became who he was. Iguodala was him.
So
before.
that's why he fits with the Lakers.
That's what I'm saying.
core.
Like, there's such a young group, and it's not only that, he's nurturing them from the ground up. It's not having LeBron come in, and now it's almost like trying to break someone of a bad habit. And it's like, come on now. We all know, old people, you ain't going to tell them, hey, I'm going to turn this light on and I'm going to walk out. All right, is that cool? No, they're going to look at you and they're like, no, turn that damn light off, because they were built into their ways. So it's like one of those things where LeBron, I just hope that his legacy grows from the Lakers simply because he learns to, I guess, understand that everything's not about him.
I think that if he does play ball, as far as, okay, I'm going to actually sit back, I'm not going to do all this extra stuff, it'll be because of it's a different organization. With Cleveland, that's a smaller market.
Yeah.
They kind of showed they needed LeBron. LA, you've seen people come in and out, and they'll be like,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
don't let the door hit you.
if he can go ahead and just, this would probably be the shortest gap of a Laker drought if he can come in and kind of lift, I guess, the organization back up to where Kobe had it left off.
I just know basketball as a whole to me right now. I'm just looking at how much talent we got on the West in general. And all I'm saying is if we get both West Coast, like for some dumb reason, if we're able to just like find a way to just have the West Coast win, and like we had talked about in the last podcast, like we had like the whole West Coast teams, hockey, basketball, win. I just want to know how lit that state our state would look like party wise. Like, I have a funny feeling.
If you haven't
one
looked,
year we will get that.
If you haven't looked, ever since the Kings, the Dodgers, and the Lakers all had games during a playoff season or a playoff run.
Oh, I thought downtown was about to get tore up.
Hey, no, I used to live not that far away from Staples Center, and I will tell you this right now. It's impossible to get around there now. So if that was to ever happen, oh no, wait, it was the Lakers, Clippers, Dodgers, and Kings, all right? So you had the Staples Center being used for 3 different games, all right? 1 hockey, 2 different basketball games, all right? It's impossible to get around there. Right now, people are going to still continue to shit on California, but if you can go ahead and make it in California, everywhere else should be cakewalk. Because this is probably the fakest place that you will ever come to.
The fakest.
I say us in New York. Yeah, definitely. If you can make it in New York,
I'm never going to take from New York.
You can hustle.
But when you look at it musically, where was the 2 of the hottest people back in the 90s come from? East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah,
so it was just
it's
like, it's always been that back and forth.
No disrespect to Atlanta, though.
No disrespect to anyone.
They don't
like
feel
that.
no disrespect. They running this shit.
Exactly.
Now.
I was about to say, I was like, all the sound come from them. They were like, go ahead, shout it. It's like, go ahead, what you think?
I just want to clear it up because, I got people everywhere.
Hey, ATL, show your boys some love. Come on now.
I still want to take a trip out there. We got to take a trip out there, boys.
Man, music out there is
hot.
Yeah. They got the hottest stuff out there.
Visit Little Havana right quick.
This thirsty moment of the day, folks. Brought to you by Slim Duckey.
Speaking of the Lakers, Summer League, I think Lakers had 3 games so far. And right now, just throw it out there. Josh Hart been playing pretty good. He's been playing like he should be.
There we go.
And then Mo Wagner, which was, I think, either our 15th or he was a later pick. He's actually looking decent. A big guy that can move, agile, and can shoot the ball, so spread the floor.
I'm gonna need them boys to follow up what the boys last season did. Bring us that summer league ship.
I don't think they're gonna be able to do it this year. I think they lost 2 of the games and they won the last one. I don't think they. I mean, if they gel, because last year they did the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, they lost the first because Lonzo played a horrible first game.
Yeah.
As a
and
rookie,
they came out and
just
dog.
exactly. So I'm like, come on, boys, let's turn it around.
Yeah. So Josh Hart, they got Caruso still there.
Okay.
There was some. I think those are really the only ones that really stuck out that are still on the Lakers squad that's actually playing, getting minutes on the Lakers squad.
Okay.
And then Trey Young, which is one of the top recruits, or was one of the top recruits that got drafted. He kind of fell in the draft, but he's not really shooting well, but he's showing his passing. So that's something else to look out for, because that's the guy that said that he wanted to be or can compare or might be better than Steph Curry.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So you already came in and
You already well, see, but
he can shoot. It's just that he's in the slump right
that's
now.
what I was about to say. I was like, sometimes these kids get hit with so much pressure and they don't understand, like, when you step onto this NBA stage, it's not college anymore. It's like the pressure is 3 times of what you thought it was back when it was college. It's like now you got random people trying to get anything and everything on you. So it's like when you put that type of pressure on
you got players that's actually going to study.
I honestly think that's why Lonzo had such a shitty first game, is because his dad put so much pressure on him where it damn nearly cracked the kid. He still played a decent game, but he shot
Beverly
horribly.
gave him the business.
He was hungry for him too. He was like, "Come on, baby, keep it coming."
But yeah, you gotta say it with your chest at that moment. You ain't gonna be running up on me like I'm just some mark or something.
Too late.
Yeah. That's why. Have you seen any lately any pictures of Lonzo?
He got a tattoo. He trying to look rough.
He kind of got like yoked up.
No, but I'm laughing because it's just like after that one season, he got the tat. Now, like, and when he stood next to Kuz, because I think it was the last summer game that him and Kuz made an appearance at. I remember seeing something about that. And when I saw he had the towel, I was like, oh, okay, you trying to get roughed around the edges. I was like, Kuz rubbing off on you, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so Trey Young. And then the last topic on the sports would be Tyler Honeycutt, which is something sad to report and kind of flows into our next topic. He died. He was a player for the Sacramento Kings for a while, and played after he left the Sacramento Kings, played overseas for a while. The reports are coming from the Los Angeles Police Department saying that they responded Friday afternoon to a report of a man with a gun. And I'm guessing they called out the works as far as SWAT and negotiators and all that. But not in the way that, the way you're supposed to. They didn't call out the negotiators.
It was a backwards mission.
Yeah, shit got real, and then they called in the people they were supposed to call in. So supposedly they made contact with him, and he fired a shot, and they shot into the building.
They lit that shit up. I'm pretty sure of it.
From what I've seen, they said that it was a lot of people evacuating. So that means that you actually shot into a building or an area where they're... Yeah, that's what tripped me out. Like, is it one of so the movies that you be seeing in the 90s where I think it was David Allen Greer, he was like, "You got a gun," and then everybody just starts shooting.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you kind of get that feel of it. I mean, it's sad to laugh at the situation, and what's really even worse is my first thought when I heard that after the SWAT entered, they found him unresponsive and said it was a self-inflicted wound.
After they shot in, right?
After they shot in.
But then I'm thinking to myself, like, how would you be able to tell what was self-inflicted if you shot in there and didn't know?
The only way you'd be able to tell
we never get the whole
That's
story.
It's one of those that just don't add up as soon as you say it.
The only way from when I did take criminal investigation when I was in college is like, you look at everything from the beginning of the scenery, from how you entered, all the way up to where you found the victim, all the way up to the scenery around him.
We don't get that luxury, bro. We get whatever they tell us.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying is like, they'll never give us that because we know how the world really works.
The only way we're getting that, and they've already kind of set a standard to make sure we don't, is if we have our own people. If there's a group. Okay, so when Mike Brown and everything was going down, you had people, that activists that were going around recording police, hurrying up and, I guess, listening to scanners and being on the scene while stuff was happening. That way you can document everything's going on. That's the only way we really would get some truth in situations, or have some kind of peace of mind that we are getting some truth.
Bring up the Black Panther again, pretty much.
Hey, I can't even say that wouldn't hurt anything. If the only thing is, it would kind of, especially right now, it's so touchy right now. To me, that's what needs to happen.
So you're saying that we should have our own people. our own, like military and police system in our communities.
Some type of protection.
Yeah. Because you can't trust the people that don't live in your community.
We're about the only people that don't have some type of protection. And if you think about it, foreigners that come over, which we have no problem with. Well, I have no problem with them coming over. That come over, they're connected to a country. So if
if we could get the country that technically we're supposed to be able to go back to actually remember us, I feel.
I feel it's kind of
some of us is already home.
Well, that's the thing is it's a thing to where
I feel like I'm stuck on Plymouth Rock. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's more of a thing of that gray area as far as how do they don't look at it. Some certain ones don't look at it as if we are their people.
Oh, most definitely.
And then at the same time, some of us don't don't
feel like we're their people.
Yeah. So it's kind of one of them things to where, it's kind of softened, especially with the Black Panther and everything like that. But that's still touchy too because that could have been easily turned into you guys are mocking our culture.
True.
But I think the way the people, the directors and everything, they're happy with that because it really did good overseas in Africa and everything like that. So
showed the beauty.
Yeah, so that was a good thing. And then, we've all worked with Africans at the job that we used to. So and for me,
correct term is Nigerian.
No, that's
that's just one out of a big pool. But,
Yeah, so. My experience has been pleasant with all of them.
Mine too.
I actually grew up. One of my grandfather's best friends. They're in church a lot. Is I want to say he's Nigerian. Yeah. So me and his sons played ball together, played in the league and all that or whatever. Still talk to this day, and that's since when I was a teen. So.
But one thing that I learned from one of them that tripped me out, they're like, the one thing that we learn over there in our country that we take very humbly is education. That's one thing we push for. That's what we teach our family. Everything's surrounded by education.
Yeah, it really it is.
Dang, because there's a lot.
We take that for granted.
Yeah, here, I will say, we do slack on that a little bit because there's a lot of us that don't hold on.
Black females are the most educated.
Well, but I'm just saying, as a country, like we were saying, in the United States, we have a lot. We have the highest obesity state. Highest obesity rating is in America. There's a lot of stuff we take for granted that I'm just saying that in other countries.
First off, you got to break down education because to me personally, when I hear someone speak about education, they speak about this system and. Well, I seen a clip from Jaden Smith who to me kind of said it right. He was just like, yo, why
fixed authority figures?
Hey, I'm just saying, when it comes to when it comes to education, sometimes there's niggas out on the street that got more knowledge than people that has
most
books
definitely
smarts. Exactly.
Yeah.
But look, you got to look at it like this. It's like education comes in so many forms. So it's really not about the status quo version of you have to go to a institution in order to gain knowledge. Sometimes gaining knowledge is just experiencing the world, communicating with different people, understanding different cultures, and that's what I think we lack of most in America.
So you're saying lack of.
There's a difference between having an education and being educated.
Exactly. There it is.
That's what he's saying. Because when you especially in the United States, because there's so many of us in debt for going to these trade schools,
thinking that we're
doing the right thing. Just go to school.
Well, yeah, like he was saying, if we communicated more, especially within our community, because there's a lot of I met some smart hood people.
That's what I'm saying.
And some smart hood people, but they refuse to give their knowledge to people that could do good with it because
do good with it.
Yeah, or do good with it themselves. They just sit on it, and I'd be like, "What? Why?"
I just need to know just in case some shit go down.
I know a dude right now that literally his whole life he was robbing banks, but he got away a few times.
But on the opposite side of that, it's a lot of people that are educated in the hood that are trying to pass this information. We're just not trying to hear it.
Right, yeah. But he knew how to run the whole banking system. He could be a bank manager with his smarts. Why rob it when you could just do the legit part? Why?
Because, why? Because death before bondage.
Look,
Oh, here he goes. And that is why it's not up for discussion anymore. Next.
Look. He said next. So, like I said, it'll slide right into the next discussion, and is how should family and friends deal with loved ones that are not in their right mind? So we're seeing more scenarios where the police are getting called because somebody's not really in their right mind. Their family member fears for them and then themselves. And what they expect is the police to come in, kind of calm them down, and then subdue the situation, and they get help. And it's been cases that are put out there, more the cases that I see in that instance, and it might be a media thing, is it doesn't turn out that way. He has a gun, he shot. Then they're trying to explain why they did it or how they were justified in the killing. Yeah. But beside that point, like, how do you feel? How does a person feel as a mother of someone that's going through something to call the police on their child and not know whether or not once the police get there, their child is going to stay alive?
There's really no way of predicting that.
Yeah,
it's sad that we live in a society where it's just like you want to call for help, but then you don't know if help is going to be the reason your loved one is dead.
Yeah. And it's really a touchy situation because you call and something happens, you feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
You don't call, something happens, you feel guilty about it. My thing is we ignore, and like I brought up the last podcast, I thought it was a J. Cole song, but it was Royce 5'9", The Strong Friend. Yeah. And that touched bases with a lot of things, and it kind of means, what I got from it is just because somebody's not showing it doesn't mean that they might not be feeling certain stress and pressure. And it's easy to go through life and just focus on yourself and not really pay attention to your surroundings. And then when something happens to somebody that you know or you love, be like, well, I didn't know anything about it.
A lot of that has to also do with okay. I'm a mid-'80s, early 80s, late 80s. Okay. Yeah. So me personally, I grew up in an atmosphere where men weren't allowed to show their emotions. Where it was just like, nut up, nigga. Yeah. You know, it was like, rub some dirt in it type bullshit. And it was just like, and then not only that, it's like, you look at some of the music displayed that. You look at...
you gotta be hard all the time.
Yeah, you look at late, early 90s. I mean, you look at the image that they painted out there saying, hey, you know what? You gotta die with your feelings. Like, that's something that can't be ever exposed.
I don't know, because... If you really took to some of the music in the 80s, it did show both sides. So it did, but you had Pac.
Yeah, see, I'm like, you had certain artists, but there were certain artists out there that was just like, nah, like they just wanted to that male macho, that machismo, like, no, I don't cry, I don't show any kind of emotion. But then when you think about it, it's like a lot of these men, they all got mamas. Guess what? I guarantee you there can't be a person that ever stood in a room after a loved one, a female loved one, pass away. You're gonna show your emotions, and if you don't, you kind of look like robotic, in a way. And,
it's kind of like you have like soulless almost sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen it. Like I think it's more of a peer thing. I think a lot of peers, like, it depends on like who you're around. To the point where, so like most of the people I hang around know that I'm the type, a person that's going to actually like vocalize whatever's going on, whether it's with me or whatever I see. So I'm going to say it, I'm going to address it. That way, later on down the line, it's been addressed. You're comfortable about addressing. We know what's going on or what's not going on, and we can act off of that. And I've never, like, all my homeboys, one of my main things, like, we'll slap box, we do all that when we were younger and all that. My main thing was, if you get upset to the point where you want to fight me, make sure that that's it. Because I'm not the type of person that's gonna knuckle up with my homeboys.
Yeah.
And then afterwards be like, all right, man,
Are
you
you
got
good?
it. Nah, if it get to the point where you want to do physical harm to me, then it's an
we ain't
issue.
friends.
Yeah, it's an issue. That's a game. You in the game. It's not a friendship. You in the game.
Yeah.
You trying to discipline me.
Hey,
So if we can, if you can't resolve your issues in like I've gone chess with people.
Yeah.
I think I had one fight with one of my buddies and we fell out for a long time. And it was already established. Like I had other friends that would fight each other, and don't do that shit with me. I'm the same way in relationships. Like I'm not that break up to make up type shit neither. So
He said the break up to make up type shit.
Break up to
yeah,
make up.
to me it's pointless.
Got
Like
that tune.
Don't say that
if you
shit
can't
on my phone,
work,
like, right?
if you can't work through the small shit, then it's not worth really
That's true.
pushing on. Like so. With that being said, like the whole check on your strong friend shit is real, one, and then just be aware of your surroundings. Don't be so in tune to what's going on with just you that you miss everything around you. And then on that note, on another note, don't be as a friend that's going through something. Don't put your friends in a situation to where they know some shit is going on and you just won't address it because one, something happens, say I know people say that suicide is like the most stubborn thing that you can do, the most selfish thing you can do.
Yeah, that's what they mainly say.
I don't like that term, but I can understand why they would say something like that.
Because all it takes is just you saying one word. And it doesn't have. It could just be one word as simple as help.
Help, exactly.
And someone's gonna sit there, and I guarantee you walk out into the street and you yell out help. Guarantee you, at least one person is gonna stop and be like, "Are you okay? What's wrong?"
Yeah. Why are you like? What's going on? Yeah.
Even if you write it on your face and you don't want to say it out loud, it's just somehow, some way express that message so someone else can step in and take you off that roller coaster ride that you're on right now.
Yeah. At least give you a little break on what you're thinking, or whatever process you're going through. I think you brought up a website or a number last episode. It was a wrong one though.
Yeah, I think it was. It was supposed to be.
It was
Talkspace.
Talkspace.
It's supposed to
Okay.
be my fault.
boy.
Squarespace is actually a website that you can go and create your own website. Talkspace is an actual, and Talkspace. Go ahead and hook your boys up with a free advertisement because we out here trying to help with mental health. So look, Talkspace is this one app. So if you don't feel like you want to go and sit down and talk to someone like a head shrink and express your feelings, Talkspace, you can do it directly from your phone just through a simple app. It's very convenient. And I mean,
Not
it's
free?
It's a
I'm
Is
just asking.
anything free?
Just asking.
He said not free.
Just asking. You never. Hey, I might be looking for myself. Can you help a brother out? I'm asking questions.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just continue like that didn't happen. So anyway,
I'm not. I see
you
that.
go
What happened to
out
look out for
there,
your friend?
And you actually have a professional sit down and try to help you with all this shit that you might have on your head. Because what people don't understand is we all got issues. They're all sorts of shapes and sizes, come in different colors. But the point I'm trying to make is you actually have a licensed therapist sitting there trying to help you become the better you, trying to get you to wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, I'm going to do better than I did yesterday.
I think it's cool because they made it that much easier. Like
Yeah,
everything's
convenient.
app based.
The privacy part is the dopest part about it.
Well, it's supposed to be
no waiting room. Don't have to sit there and look across and see the couple that just came out. And you be like, ooh, shit, I don't know if I want to go
Not just
in there.
that, like, cause I'll be real. I'll come out and admit it. Like, I've seen a psychiatrist board.
I mean, I
think
have too.
the most unsettling part about it is you're sitting in a room and you know you have that gut feeling like you're just gonna say the same thing the last person I just talked to for free just fucking told me. So why am I sitting here paying you money?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've sat down with two different ones, and I'm not gonna lie. If you got issues, that's the way to go because it's someone that you don't even know, that you're just sitting there and they're actually giving you feedback. It's not like they're just sitting there with a pencil on their lip going,
Even if they are doing that, that's healthy because you're getting it out.
Yeah, true. You're getting
so
it
if
out.
you go there and you don't get anything, no kind of feedback from the person.
I need criticism.
I mean, but if you go there and you get it all out,
Well, what's the difference between doing that and just going to the beach and talking to yourself?
you might end up in somebody's wagon.
This
Why is that? No. Like real talk. Okay, come on now. How many times does a cop really pass by on the beach, and not only that, come close enough for them to even hear you speak?
For some reason, when it come to us, the cops is always passing by.
Well, no, they pass by at the same.
He probably come and make you blow into something, but he
about
don't
to-
leave you alone when he find out. Pause. Pause.
And
I forget who I'm dealing with.
and that was-
I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? He might come by if you talking to yourself on the beach.
Go ahead, finish.
You know what I'm saying? He
And
might come
that
by and make you do that, but
Was an awkward Mitch moment. So, as we were saying before, look, because I've been to the beach plenty of times. I usually go sit out there. I meditate. I listen to the ocean. I clear my mind and everything. And sometimes, and y'all can go ahead and look at me stupid if you want to.
And
I talk to
sometimes
myself.
he talks to himself,
and no, look,
and he takes mental note
look,
on what game he's going to
You
spit
give
next.
yourself pep
I know
talk.
what you do.
No. And look, and what people don't understand is me talking to myself doesn't mean, okay, do you feel like you're always by yourself?
Oh, I know I'm not always by myself.
Not if you can't be if you're spiritual.
Bam! That's my point. Like, okay, doesn't matter what you believe in or your view on life. At some point in time, you sit there and you end up talking to yourself. You might exchange a gesture like, huh, damn, that is funny. That's
I don't
you.
know about talking to. I think to myself.
Well, look,
I do.
Talking to yourself and thinking to yourself is almost two of the same things, because at some point you're exchanging, you're pulling words
It's
together.
still a form of communication with yourself. Yeah.
So if there's someone walking around being able to truly mind read, then they'll see that everyone speaks to themselves, whether
it's
it's
kinda-
verbally or non-verbally.
So it's kind of like that parallel where people keep getting the new law of like medicate and meditation confused.
I don't,
You know how people, you heard that lately, like how people like, like how J. Cole has in his
meditating,
It's like, yeah, you know,
but
what I
it's
mean, you
supposed to
meditate
be-
and not medicate. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a difference, and people, you know what I'm saying, misconstrue it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's
Because the same thing, like if you
That
talk
is
to yourself
that is
and then you
completely a topic that we do need to discuss. And I thought about that. I think on the way here, I was thinking like, okay, well, that has to be one of these topics that so we won't dive too far into it.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely.
I was just saying, is it like something similar to that? How he was explaining it.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue with this medicating.
Yeah.
Instead of meditating.
Yeah, I'll agree on that. It's me being a 420 friendly person, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it 100 for y'all
It is
motherfuckers.
what
There
it
is a big difference, and some people.
It all affects people differently.
Yeah, I mean, and everyone uses it differently.
Especially
Me,
when
I
you
know I
at
use
9
it
in the morning
differently.
and want to app your friends talking about, but what about this?
But we gonna get more into that on a later episode. Back to this though, bruh, like it's just one of those things where you just need to speak up and speak your mind. If you're having a shitty day, there's got to be someone that you can just sit down and it's not so much you want to gripe and like just completely just dump information onto them, but you want to hold a conversation. Like, we're all fucking human beings here.
Yeah.
Come on, let's be honest here. Like, I don't want someone walking in and before I can even get a sip of my coffee in the morning, they just start telling me everything. I'm just like, yo,
that's a little bit too much.
like
You're dropping on me
I'm like,
right now.
we could have said hello,
Pause.
good morning, good
You
job.
know, one thing that, I had a good colleague teach me when I was younger that works. Well, it worked for me for a little bit. It still does from time to time. It's simply just going for a long walk and taking a book and writing down the things you're thinking. It doesn't have to make sense. Just write it all down and then read to yourself later and see everything. And then you'll start to make sense of exactly what you're...
As a black male, you need that walk, bro.
Yeah.
Like, with everything, you have to get away from
Me,
the...
it's a walk with a blunt, but
Yeah.
that's just
Hey,
me.
that can lead to some other trouble, so be careful.
Hey, just
Pause. He's still going to have to blow into something, though.
This nigga.
see. You know that pause doesn't work when you see
Like,
put so
when
much
you-
emphasis.
No, I did it first time
When you
because I know for a
intentionally say
fact
some
y'all gonna
shit,
say
you
some,
can't
and you're talking about can get you into some trouble, and
He
I'm
said,
thinking
I'm
of the
about to
law.
say some shit that sound gay,
So
so
I was
let
like,
me pause.
let me say something because I know he gonna hit
So
me with
wait,
it.
you smoke weed and you have to blow into some shit.
Yeah,
what cops are you being stopped by?
This nigga is inhaling and
Have you
finding
not seen the
something
new
to blow
laws?
into.
This is why you don't hang out with these people.
That's what that vaping shit.
See,
Look,
light skin
hookah vaping.
and dark skin always attack the darkest one in the room.
Man.
This is what the fuck happens right here.
It's not attack when you just go ahead and display yourself
So
out there
look.
like that. Put a bulletproof vest on, son.
Look.
I can't wait till I get me some more sound bites.
So another
What the
person,
hell?
he's kind of a guy I like watching because of pause, but
Nah. Oh.
yeah, that's not intentional. I like watching because he's honest, and it fits right in with what we're talking about, the mental health. He's always actually come out and said his issues with mental health and actually push people to actually seek help. So kind of same thing that we're trying to do whenever we can. He actually sat down with somebody that I looked at as a rapper on the same, not the same level skill wise, but at the same thought process as Kendrick and all of them, YG, and just being real about themselves. And he sat down with what's the guy's
Joe
name?
Budden.
Joe Budden and what's the guy's name from Long Beach?
You talking about the actual artist?
Yeah,
You talking about Vincent Staples?
Vince Staples. He sat down with him, and when I clicked on it, I'm like, okay, cool, this is about to be it. Because both of them are, to me, seem like the same level-minded.
Vince got some. He got some bars.
Yeah.
Man.
No, I still respect him as an artist, but I don't know what the hell was going on in that interview, bro. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I didn't get to watch all of it.
Okay, so you've seen the Joe Budden and Tekashi one, right?
I didn't see that one. I didn't know they had one.
Okay, so it was the same process as far as just like.
It was like that for Tekashi too.
Tekashi, no, it wasn't as bad with Tekashi.
I was about to say I'm gonna watch that one.
No, it wasn't as bad as with Vince, because Vince, I can kind of tell that I don't feel that that's really him. He did completely act L.A. in it. If that's a term to use, he act L.A. He was oozing L.A. Pause. But with 6ix9ine, he was just getting sun throughout the whole interview. He thought he was saying some shit. He thought he was doing some shit, and J. Cole was just sunning him through. Well, no, it wasn't 6ix9ine. It was
It was.
You talking about J. Cole and Lil Pump?
was it Lil Pump?
Lil Pump. You talking about J. Cole?
Okay,
son
J.
of
Cole and
Lil
Lil Pump. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lil Pump was getting sun the whole time. He
That
didn't
shit was
realize
funny.
he
Yeah.
was getting sun the whole time. So
J. Cole's
Joe
a
Budden,
beast for that.
Joe Budden had almost the same kind of vibe. He's sitting there like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? He's saying all kind of shit that don't make no end. You can tell that Joe Budden was kind of comfortable and uncomfortable at the same time because
I just saw
His
like maybe
skin
the first
started
4
peeling back
minutes.
layer by layer in that interview.
he like, I ain't gonna
I don't
say
wanna
no
hear-
wild shit because you got your niggas over there.
First off, the only quote I will say that I was feeling, he's like, I don't want to hear no more sad stories, bro.
he was really like,
whole day.
like-
I don't want to hear.
Yeah,
no
I
more
want to
sad
hear that shit, bro. But yeah, he was really it was kind of funny, but no, you definitely got to check it
Yeah,
out.
you gotta watch that.
Definitely. If you guys get a chance, check out that interview because Joe Budden was kind of in his bag on that one, and at the same time, Vince was in his bag, and I have no idea whether or not if he was trolling. That's
Nah,
not the
but you
Vince
know
I
what?
see.
But nah, you know what? I'll say it like this: like when it comes to how he was acting, I've seen other interviews with that cat, and like I think he was just feeling himself a little too much in that one. But I also kind of understand the complexity of how he was asking that question, like, you know, the killings versus the storytelling. You know what I mean? In that interview where he's asking them, like, you know,
He was saying wild shit, bro. That
But-
contradict itself.
right, but at the same time, like, it's true too, though. Like, you know, you have those people who root to have all these battles and stuff, but then when someone get killed, then everybody want to be like, oh no, and it's like, then stop rooting for that shit.
It might be a message that I couldn't receive from him. It might, and I think that I'm seeing that a lot clearer now because I have younger cousins and stuff like that that would probably look at that interview and be like, yeah, because
That's
one
what
of my
I'm here
cousins,
for.
one of my cousins is no, you're not. Believe me, you're not.
Is
The
younger
thought
than?
process that they have, no, way off. And not in the sense of it's a bad thought process. It's just not our thought process. It's so far from it. Like usually you see it slowly jumped from generation.
Yeah, they just jumped.
But no, they jumped way far left on this one as far as their thought process. And my cousin that I'm talking about, he actually hangs around in Long Beach and stuff to the point where he knows Vince. So when I'm watching this, I'm like, yo, this is kind of the same thought process my cousins have without the whole gang banging thing or whatever. And I thought back on when I was like 21, 22, the group of kids that I grew up in Compton, and I was back and forth between Compton and L.A. and Rialto, but all of my homeboys were mainly in Compton, and I never banged, but I was associated with people that bang. I won't say the hood or whatever, but I seen the difference when I left to college, and then when I left out of state, and then I came back, I go to chop it up with some of my homeboys. Most of them either dead, in jail, or they got out of there, one of the three. And then it's kind of like, okay, well, I got to be careful. I'm going back into a hood that's active. It's summertime. And niggas don't care if I grew up on that street. Yeah. They don't care who I knew or nothing like that. So it's more of a thing to where, okay, I got to poke my chest out, but at the same time, I got to be humble. Yeah. Because and watch my back at the same time. The experience that I had when I went over there was I kind of had to, I don't want to say stand up for myself, but at the same time, like, let them know, like, yeah.
You ain't no pushover.
Yeah, I ain't no pushover. Like, it is what it is. Nigga, I've been over here before you've been over here. I used to stay at that house. And if it's something, we can get down. But it's not going to be one of them things to where I'm getting the best of you and all your niggas jump on me. Pause. But, yeah, that was my experience. But I still had some disrespect from that area once I got older and came back. So, as I wouldn't consider myself. I'm other age, other OGs now. The younger OGs now, and then you have the YGs out here or whatever.
YGs just don't care.
That is my main thing.
YGs don't
when
care.
did it become okay to disrespect or not respect your OGs at all? Like that.
Man, honestly, from
when ass whoopings was considered assault.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell it like this. Once, like he said, once we stopped throwing them hands and we started picking up them things and loading them, all bets was off. Because then you start getting kids with the mentality of, okay, well, with this tool, I can rule the world.
The most people that, from my thought process, if the first thing you do is run and go get a gun, it's because you're scared.
Yeah.
But listen. But you gotta look at how the transition went. It went from that might be someone saying that, but at the same time, the man that's holding that ain't they mentality is like, okay, you can say that, but if you go outside and I pull it on you and I get everything out of you, you the one that lost, not me. That's their mentality. See what I'm saying? Like,
I got you before you got me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But then it's still a scary mentality because how come you couldn't just run up on me like it used to be? And hey, I'm checking your pockets.
But
what
really,
size shoe you wear?
But really, when you compare it to a YG versus just an average kid, a YG's not afraid to die. That's why he always stays strapped and he's ready to pull out anywhere and everywhere. That's why they always go to jail and they always end up dead.
That's a good perspective to look at it because it's the exact way that the opposite way that I look at it. I look at it as they stay strapped because they're scared of what's going to happen. And I that's coming from talking to someone. I'd rather be caught with it than without it.
Well, it's because of that energy that they also put out.
But you also got to look at, they analyze things deeper than I think they sometimes should. Because if you think about it, one of our greats said that you should stay strapped. Tupac was saying that shit all throughout his records. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like...
Yeah, but that was also during a different time where gang violence was...
You're right. It was at a different time, but think about it. A lot of the stuff he said is prophecy, right? When you really look at some of his lyrics. So some of that stuff is still going on. So a kid is going to take that mentality and be like, all right, yeah, well, then it is what it is. That's how my uncles and my mom and my dad grew up.
I think that might be misunderstood because it was always, and at that time frame, it was always when called for.
Yeah.
So... if it got there, it got there. Like, if we can get out there, knuckle
first
up,
thing.
Yeah, if we can get out there, get down, and then solve our issues that way, then cool. It didn't become that big of a problem until people didn't want to fight no more. And it's documentaries.
They didn't want to take that ass whooping.
But I tell you right now, like, I know, I've known an older dude that like he carries heavily, you know what I'm saying, in his whip and on his person, you know what I'm saying, and he did it because of the simple fact that he knew the things that he got into, people would be looking for him. So it's like
It's
got to stay ready.
But then,
You know what I mean?
I don't know the dude you're talking about, but
And he
if
was
it
real
didn't-
respected. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's different though. If it was a thing to where he was respected for throwing hands, which there are some
Both.
people for throwing it, but if you're throwing hands, 9 times out of 10 you're not going.
because you gotta look at it. You gotta look at it like this. You gotta look at this. When you're younger, you're like, all right, let's look at it from the bottom to the top, right? When you're a YG, you trying to earn your stripes all step of the way. Once you've already completed a certain age and you have your homies that made it to that final chapter in life, I guess you would call it, whatever, where you guys are like, okay, we're on a grown man shit. We actually gotta feed our kids. They got kids now. They trying to do
those
the
are
right
ones
thing.
that are carrying right now.
But listen,
and they have a reason to.
But listen, you would think that, right? But my thing is, then they go back into the whole curve of, oh, you know what? I'll pull it out only if need be. But when you was younger, you was them same dudes trying to hold up the ice cream man, trying to do all this other shit because they was wild and young. And
That's
had a
because
tool.
little kids ain't got conscience.
Well, I did all the same shit when I was younger. Jumping on, little guys that puts the ice cream thing, all that shit. Me and my homies used to do dumb shit
You
like
used
that.
to
Like
rob
that.
the. Hey, what was that?
Hey,
Nah, I
don't
ain't gonna
repeat
go
the
there.
shit.
I was gonna say, I was gonna think of that song. What was that damn song?
I never had to pick up a gun to do the shit. That's what I'm trying to explain is the people that are quote unquote the
What, YGs?
nah, not the YGs, but the people that you might look at like, oh, the nigga was really out there shooting up shit and stuff like that. That don't mean that you respect that person automatically. I can see if it got there, like the nigga would throw hands and then, okay, it's getting to this gunplay, so I'm with the gunplay too. I can see that as being respectable because you threw hands first and then it got to something else and you're not scared to do that too.
You
But there
both
are a
agreed
lot
to
of
it.
people right now that are terrified and
get in a
acting
fight.
like they hard. Not even
Well,
to
I
get in a
get you on
fight.
that one, too.
They're terrified of just gang banging. Like it's a lot of gang bangers that don't want to gang bang, but they have no way out. And then on top of that, they don't know how to actually handle themselves when it comes down to some type of altercation. So you have one of them like little standoffs to where it's like, oh, is this nigga, is he tripping? How far is he tripping?
I'm about to say, one thing I had to remember when I was younger, I think it became, when the fad came to like, oh, you have the cowards that run in packs where they want to jump on people, that's where the shit got fucked up. Because it's like, whatever happened to shooting a fair one? When it's one-on-one, then we get big, small, fat, skinny, them two should solve their problem.
I think it all stemmed from when the OGs kind of lost the YGs.
Yeah.
As far as like if some dumb shit went on, like if one of the YGs went out there and started shooting up some shit without the OGs okay, then the OGs would go out there. They
Cover it up.
no, they wouldn't cover it up. They get on their head like nigga, that wasn't okay, and it wasn't called for.
But what y'all forgetting is the root of all of this issue is the fact that the male is missing. When you
Not in gangs.
No. But I'm saying,
I'll
I'm like,
say
look,
what?
when you have an OG locked up and everything, when you have a handful of OGs locked up,
okay.
and then you got these YGs out here with no
They don't
real
have to respect them while they're locked up.
They don't have no
Yeah.
guidance out
Yeah,
there. So that's why I'm
that's
like,
true.
everything, when you look at it full circle, everything always
He's
comes
talking
back.
about the triple OGs, though.
And look,
And I think- I think-
I'm
bigger than the
I'm
OG,
talking
he
about
went to
like the
triple
last.
OGs.
I'm talking about like the last segment that we had last week about the male figure being missing. It always ends.
always circles, yeah.
Think of it like this. Let me go ahead and put it in a child's version where all y'all out there can understand. Now imagine if Simba didn't have his dad.
This nigga said simple.
All right.
Right.
Imagine
He did
if
for the
no.
Hakuna Matata, motherfucker. Hakuna
I understand.
Matata.
He had him while he was growing up, but imagine that he didn't have him. Period. All right. So his uncle is the only influence
That way,
that he has
okay,
on.
yeah.
So look at it like this: with these, you got these OGs getting these good OGs. All right. And I hate to look at it in that type of light, but you have these good OGs that are out there and they respect the game. They respect the street code. All right, as you put it. And then you get them locked up, and then you're left with a bunch of these like these hyenas that become those OGs. And now they got that crazy mentality of saying, "Fuck this, pull the burner out as soon as that nigga say something foul." End of story. There's no nigga, you gotta fight with your hands first and then you go to this point. Now you have that type of influence being put out into the world, and now you have these YGs that just feel like, you know what? No one can tell me nothing if I got a 9 on me.
Because it's like this. Like, I'll tell you one last one. Like we said, we ain't gonna name the hood, but you know a person, or you know people from a hood that I know people that are from that same type of area. And one thing that tripped me out that I learned from them is like, I remember this dude was ready to, even when he got pulled over by the one time, was like, oh, well, you know, he come to the window, it's over. Like, really, nigga? And he was dead serious. So I was like, oh, can't ride home with you today.
No, it's really something like that. I'm not going to jail.
And that's when I'm walking.
Get out the car like that. Like, my hands is up.
Fuck that. I'll take my belt off, throw it out the window, and be like, yo, nothing on me.
Like survival, I can't take that ride.
So is it, okay, so with the YGs and everything like that or whatever, it's gotten to the point where everything is about money when it comes to gangbanging now.
Oh, it's always been
everything is about money.
Started with dice.
So when it comes down to these artists that are coming and living in California and all that or whatever, is it fair for these YGs and some of these OGs, like I don't even want to call them OGs because they have that mindset of a YG, to kind of prey on artists that come and stay, like they really tax
because they don't check in.
Not even just checking in. You got people that are completely checking in, being cool with some of the YGs and all that or whatever. You think they cool, and then
get two-faced on you.
Yeah, you getting set up, or it's like, oh, bro, you ain't, the hood need this, the hood need that, or whatever.
They try to milk a motherfucker dry where they don't want to come back here.
That way, I was just watching the MC Hammer documentary.
You ain't run up on that nigga. You ain't run up on that nigga.
Did you see the way he just said that? It was like, oh, this nigga had goons around him. Like,
no, MC Hammer don't need no goons.
No, I mean, he's one guy though.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I would say like this. I envision him how I envision LL Cool J. Them two niggas, you ain't just gonna run up on them. Like,
it's
you ain't gonna be the average nigga.
Mad niggas that will run up on both of them.
Look. But as a group or by themselves?
By themselves.
And I guarantee they're gonna have a hell of a time. Those are two artists where I can tell you, like, nah, I have to think about that shit a little bit. You gotta think about that shit a little bit. Like, you ain't about to just run up on him and just KO his ass like it's gonna be the easiest shit in the world.
I didn't know Hammer was signed to Death Row.
Yeah.
At one point, I just figured out, I'm like, what the Yeah, signed
Death Row
to
had
Death
a lot
Row.
of shit going on.
Just think about. I think it was his last album or one of the latest.
What do you think happened to
albums
Vanilla Ice, nigga? He didn't get hung over the balcony for no reason, bro.
you think that Hammer is running up on Suge?
Fuck no. But what I'm saying, but this is what I'm saying.
There's so many people out here.
But listen, the only reason why I would say that though is because Suge Knight was he would take shit to the other level. I don't think Suge Knight was about trying to square up with MC Hammer either.
What you mean?
I don't think Suge Knight was about trying. Niggas, Suge Knight never. Name a time when Suge Knight was like, all right, I'm gonna just go head up with the person. He was always like, oh, I'm gonna get my goons, or I'm gonna have a gun, or I'm gonna do something.
Suge Knight was, it was almost like Tookie. The nigga would fight.
Might want to do your research on that one.
Yeah, the nigga.
Nah, but I'm talking about people that are equally strong as him, though.
That's exactly why I mean that is mad people. You making my point. It's mad people that would run up on LL Cool J and MC Hammer. Yeah.
No,
nigga,
but I'm saying,
I'll run up on MC Hammer.
You gonna have a hell of a time, bro. I'm rooting for you, but go for it. Nigga, I'm gonna sit there and watch it. I'm gonna sit there and be like, hey, look. When he get there and doing that, I'm like, hey, nigga. Didn't I tell you?
So you going the Chris Brown route? Oh, that nigga do backflips, so he must. That's the route you do.
No, I'm talking about from what I seen and when I seen the suit and seen how he, I was like, that nigga that nigga solid, bro.
Camera
good luck with that shit. That nigga work out every day. Nigga's an ex-marine.
No, he's a dancer.
No, but he has military too. I'm saying, good luck with that shit.
He was in the Navy.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was in the Navy.
He was in the Navy. No, he was in the Navy. I'm not really intimidated when it comes to fighting.
I'll be with you. Look, I study. I'll run up on Soulja Boy before I run up on Chris Brown.
So you're looking at it as an athletic standpoint.
Because if you don't study your opponent, then you're gonna be.
Oh, but that's given. So like, if you even looked at the video Soulja Boy put out while he was boxing, like you'd be like, yeah, my little sister can knock him out.
Oh dang.
Chris Brown, you have. I think.
I mean, I'll go heads up if it came to it with Chris Brown, but I'm not gonna sit there and think that my chances is extreme as it is with.
I would.
I probably jumped out of camera frame on that one.
No, I'm saying like look. First off, I wouldn't want to be on that level with him because at the end of the day, I like the nigga's music.
Yeah, that way. But when it comes down
do that
to
many
it,
flips, spins, twists, and not have a stunt devil, I don't want any part of that.
he said I don't want no problem. I don't know. I see it the same way.
I'm
gonna have to knock you out.
Me and Tekashi can catch the head up anytime. I will not run from that one.
I will sit in kumbaya stance and say
I will not run from that one. I will not run from that one. But yeah, but there's certain ones like
hey, we should do that. Pick Tekashi.
Nah.
My man here said he could take you. I got about. I ain't gonna say an amount because next thing you know, I'm held to a contract.
Nah, he the one that said he got the racks. Nigga, we ain't got to put up shit if he really got racks like that.
Can knock you out in 2 rounds.
We can do it for the kids. We can do it for the kids. We do it for charity.
I give you this mic.
We do it for charity.
Okay, so yeah, that kind of goes to doing it for the kids. So
do that for each other. Do it for the kids.
Them kind of having to check in with these certain gangs and stuff like that, taken away from the fact that you don't really see. Because I was just thinking like. How many people do you see that have made it? Artists, actors, and stuff like that. You can physically see them doing stuff in LA. Do you hear about it? You hear about these foundations and all that. The only people I see right now is Top Dog and everybody under him.
That's true.
When you throw a full out concert to where you can bring in the not the hood, the projects. Yeah, and it a full out stage, all that. You had Rihanna there.
Yeah, he had.
That means you have done shit to where the hood respects you.
But that's what I'm saying.
And not fuck your shit up.
Yeah, and not fuck your shit up. I respect Top Dog and everybody under him for doing that multiple times.
Yeah, they do it every year. We need to crash that shit one time, yo. We all need to go to.
If I would have known when it happened, I think I got the little snap afterwards. I would have been there.
Oh, I got one of somebody I knew was on the stage, bro. I was hot. Like, you gonna send me that, but you gonna call me, bro?
Yeah, you could have just hit me up like, hey, it's finna go down, come through.
You know who you are. Because you gonna watch this later. You know who you are.
But is that taken away from artists that are actually willing to actually go in the hood and do things? Because if they're paying taxes to these gangs and stuff like that, and they feel like, oh, I'm doing my shit, it's supposed to be going back to the hood.
Whatever happened to just generally doing shit? Because I mean, it turns into paying taxes, but I mean, it's just like if this is your home and you generally love.
A lot of these people didn't grow up here though,
and that's the thing, and that's the fucked up part. Everybody wants to live that Cali life, but nobody want to live that Cali life.
Well, see, the other thing is too, though, it keeps going balancing between two extremely different. What's the word I'm looking for? It's more like, I guess you would say like an ocean. Like you get the small tide and then you get the high tide. Like you get the small tide of artists that promote, you know, the happy things about California, women, weed, and weather, stuff like that. Then you get the other crowd. Don't come to LA, fuck LA. And then it's like, well, then you got people who is afraid to even want to even do shit for them.
I mean, addressing the people that are here that's doing. Okay, so LeBron James is going to be here.
Right.
Okay, so are we going to physically see him like we physically seen Magic?
And that's what I'm saying. Do you think
maybe at games
we didn't see Kobe like that at all?
Well, right. Yeah. We expected that because
it came to the point where people were like, "Oh yeah, Kobe's not coming down here."
You know what? Scratch that. And as soon as you said that, I mean, Kobe, he was out there, but he was one of those guys where he wasn't out. It was always a family event. That's why
he knew he loved LA. This is where his home was.
Because I saw him at Universal Studios.
But you know what? It's like looking at. Okay. But you got to look at the. I'm sorry, but it comes down to the money on that one. You got to look at the tax bracket because certain people at the level it shouldn't. But there's certain people that are at a level where it's like you really ain't gonna catch them out there like that.
But that's
a sad
thing
fact.
To where
like you ain't like be honest. Have you ever seen Dr. Dre just smack dab in the middle of the hood? Just on a random day. Like
when they first came out, yeah.
I'm talking about now. I'm talking about now that he's a billionaire. You think he's going to walk down Watts and just be like,
he don't feel
shaking
like
hands, how you doing?
That's my question is why is it a thing to where we have so many black, successful actors, artists that will allow...
And I'm going to steal a quote from YG because the white folks don't.
We're not worried about them. They're not finna come and take care of us.
But I'm saying when they leave, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but I'm just painting a different picture. I'm just saying, like, for instance, that's like saying other than excusing one artist, I'm not gonna say nothing, but people can figure it out. I'm just saying, like, if you go from poverty as a Caucasian, right, and it comes from a certain type of environment, right, do you ever see them hit them millions and then go back to that poverty? No, they buy a house way over in the middle somewhere far away, and they never fucking go back.
Well, it's like Lil Boosie say.
Oh,
Every nigga is gonna hate you as soon as you make it. Everyone that you grew up with and everyone that you came around is gonna hate you. The people that's gonna show you the most love is the people that's not at home.
And your boy Button said that shit too to Vince. He was like, well, I don't understand why the fuck y'all want to like try to still live in the inner city with all that attention when you could just fucking go.
That's a dangerous narrative, because it should be, as a black people, it should be a thing is, if we made it, you should be able to at least do what Magic did.
Oh, see, jealousy and envy will always.
But see, the thing
it has nothing to do with jealousy and envy.
No,
you
but
put
the way
that in a smart way.
But the way Magic did it was
through businesses.
Not a way that everybody else is willing to go down that path.
Why aren't you willing to?
And that's the thing. Well, see, that's the $1 million question.
If we're willing, if you really depend on your core audience, your core fans are, I'll put a percentage, 80% black, or especially you have people that target, like, okay, right now Kendrick and Top Dog, they're global, but one of their target core audience was the LA area, the same way E40 did when they were first coming up. So if you really depend on your fans like that, just the thought, and I use them, but I know they really give back. But the thing is, why aren't more wealthy, successful black people thinking in the mindset of, I don't have to be in the hood to help the hood? You can do one that way, or I can be in the hood and not be scared of being in the hood and help the hood without actually having to pay taxes or whatever like that.
I think people would be more susceptible about donating more into the hoods, especially in Los Angeles. Especially in Los Angeles, if we didn't paint such a, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I think because we're such a international landmarking, everybody knows.
Barrel.
Everybody
you live
knows
here, so that's not an excuse.
Listen. Everybody knows our city as being more so like, you know, be careful where you go.
That
all
don't
that
matter.
bullshit.
If you
but listen. If you're an artist that was born and raised here, and then you become successful, yeah, by all means, I think you should pay it forward and come back and try to invest in something to try to stand your ground and make it better for people around.
We're putting more on the area. I mean, just period. There's so many black wealthy artists, actors, and stuff like that. Why isn't it? You don't have. So if LeBron comes
greed?
to, I don't think it's greed. It's just that there's no pressure.
Yeah.
As far as that, and I don't mean the pressure as you should be doing it. It's just a thing.
But no one's
of,
talking about it.
When it comes down, that goes back to my point earlier, as far as we have no backing when it comes to African American, black people, whatever people want to identify
about,
as.
Economically backing or
economically defensive, because if you think about it,
so
somebody from overseas,
high-powered black lawyers, there ain't no high-powered black colleagues in the banking system.
There are, but they only do what they can.
They're not pushing for change.
Yeah, there's not. And I won't say they're not pushing for change,
or they
but they only do it. No, they only do it within what they can do. It's not a forceful thing like it should be done, or that other.
It's not a mission.
Yeah, it's not.
Speaking in the same context,
cohesive thing.
Didn't they do some changing around of the Supreme Court this last week?
Yeah, they're supposed to elect they're supposed to elect another board member or something like that. I remember hearing something.
Stuff, but go back, keep going.
So, my thing is even if it's a small amount,
something's better than nothing.
Something, and it's not really about money. Like, your presidents do a lot more things. You speaking on certain. So I went to when everything was going down, when it was real hot, as far as the police killing. I think it might have been right after whoever got off with Mike Brown. Snoop Dogg had a walkthrough to
the Snooping game.
I was there. Got the text late and made it down there, and it seemed more like, not to take anything away from what they did, it seemed like it was more for the media, and as you can see, nothing really got done afterwards. They might have wanted questions, asked questions and stuff like that, but that's easy for the media to control. That's easy for the police to kind of just be like, all right, well, we met with them. There was no incidents or nothing like that.
The only way shit is actually going to make a positive change, and I can't remember who said this exactly, but take your money back.
That's my point.
Don't give these people, and that's I know that's your point. Meaning, you're on this platform. Why don't you use it correctly to rise more people like you up? And I think there's people out there, and it's just the fact that the media doesn't expose it out there in that kind of manner. Because
That could be it.
you got to understand. It's like these black kids are coming up somehow. So it's like someone is helping them out in some kind of way, shape, or form, but we don't have enough media exposure, and maybe that's something that we need to, as a community, need to take advantage of and say, okay, you know what?
We got the tools.
Like this podcast, for example, is one of those type of things where you put yourself up on a platform to say, you know what? No, like I want people to understand that, just because we look this way doesn't mean we fit that image that you have of urban children.
I just have a funny feeling that even if there were enough of the what's the word I'm looking for? We'll just say successful African Americans in the world that would pitch together and actually start, coming together and making more foundations, more things for, the culture to thrive off of and do better. I have a funny feeling you still just have the Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all those syndromes all over again.
Frame, no, because if you have that mind frame, you're stuck
cutting yourself short.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like I foresee like, okay, yeah, they got this going. Oh, this member and then a few months later on the news, oh, this person was self-inflicted.
Okay, I'll put it this way. Say LeBron comes out here and he makes a big investment. Mm-hmm. Makes a big investment. Okay, no, I'll take this back. Okay, Magic.
Okay.
When he sold everything off of what was that, La Cienega or something like that, the Fridays, he sold all his early investments, the movie theater and all that, to make sure that he had a stake in the Dodgers. Can you imagine how much money he actually raised if he would have found? Okay, the projects they're trying to tear down certain projects. I can't remember which ones they tore down, and they're going to make townhomes or condominiums
to push out the black community.
Imagine if he would have got a group together and actually bought that and actually did good with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I get what you're saying too, because it's just like how I ain't gonna name the names, but they was talking about how why don't we have more like juice bars and shit like that in the hood, which is true, because it's like if you have more healthy stuff there, then you would
obesity would drop.
Yeah, that, and just health in general, because
it goes back to the point is if we were controlling, if we were actually putting what we're supposed to be putting in the hood, like we don't control what's in the hood.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can't. We can't. A lot of banks will not invest.
Why can't we? It don't have to be the banks. That's the point we're pushing.
Are you talking about? So you're talking about just an average doughboy just taking his dirty money, giving it to
I'm saying these athletes, artists,
but I'm saying,
and actors
well, then that goes back to what I said: greed.
No, it's not.
If they're not thinking about it at all,
it's pressure because of the simple fact of there's no pressure for them to actually do it. Regardless, they're going to get what they get out of the situation. We're still going to buy the albums. We're still going to see the movies.
There's no one boycotting them saying, "Hey, you're not helping."
Like, yeah.
So you're suggesting that we
boycott
boycott every artist, even if we like their music, until they start donating.
I'm saying that.
Please do not think like DJ Money Mitchell.
I'm just asking questions that I know people around the world would be asking.
The podcast of Not Of Discussion does not represent Money Mitch.
What are you trying to say?
Well, it's been said clearly. It's just a matter of whether or not it's coming on open ears. And I know that it will when it comes. Certain stuff hits home when you have that guilt in you. So certain people will be thinking that process and just be like, I'm waiting on the next person to jump up and do it. Like
that's the thing. It takes that brave person to go ahead and do it without any kind of saying, "Oh, I'm gonna gain something out of this." It always takes that one person to be like, all right, you know what, I'm going to start this organization. And there's people out there that do it, but it's just a simple fact that no one is able to jump on board and say, let's snowball this. That's a great idea. Let's keep pushing for that on that.
So many people, black actors. That's why I said L.A., because even if they don't live here, they work here.
I mean, I can feel you to a certain extent because, like I told you, I went on a trip, right? Went to the Bahamas, and it messed me up when I seen the fact that Eddie Murphy owns a piece of the Bahamas, bro. His own island, and this shit is huge. Imagine if you owned your own island, bro. Imagine
if you took that same money that you bought the island with and invested in the hood.
But that's what I'm saying. If you had enough,
help the next Eddie Murphy.
But that's what I'm saying. How much money does it take to buy an island? That's the reason why I'm telling you,
Actually,
like, exactly what you're
so
saying.
So you're saying it's just all being greedy is the reason why that they don't do it.
A lot of them.
So why do we support them then?
You could have took that same money and probably did a whole lot more greater with it than having just an island that only you can go to and your guests have to be
no one's being
flown
educated
to
correctly. And then you have people that just speak until they're heard.
You know how wealthy it is? The citizens of the Bahamas aren't notified when he's there until the day he's leaving. They put it on the TV screen.
Okay. So if you wait, I'll ask this question.
I'm trying to figure out how the hell did that lead.
I'm gonna shut it down. I'm gonna ask you this question. You have money. Is your first investment going to be to further?
I'm already tell you he's gonna say some gooey shit.
Yeah, you sound.
You want to know what my first? Go ahead and ask a question.
Are your first?
Go ahead and ask a question.
Besides the whole, when you get past the nigga, we made it, we got money type attitude. When you get past that part, because I know that's what you're going to try to utilize.
Let me go ahead.
Nigga, I ain't had money, so I'm finna splurge.
No
Okay,
I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna have to look at this right now.
When you first get, when you actually realize, nigga, I'm wealthy, like I'm really wealthy. Mm-hmm. Is your thought process going to be, shit, fuck the hood, I'm finna go buy me an island?
No.
What's your thought process going to be?
If I became rich, right? My first thought process is making sure family's straight.
So
first thought process is
that goes
in
line with helping the community because your family is from the community, all right?
That would mean my immediate family
first,
and then that would mean my friends that I consider my family, and I have a small circle.
So would you help your friends as far as just giving them money, or would you help them and guide them how to show them how to be wealthy? I
would guide them and show them how to be wealthy, but at the same time, yeah, I probably would give them each a donation of a certain percentage to where I know, like, you messed that up, like, you knew what you did. I guided you with it, but you messed it up. You messed it up.
So when I said earlier, I have conversations with myself. I won't say it out loud, but I've had this conversation with myself.
I've had this conversation with myself plenty of times.
And I know that my thought process is you can't help, and this is because I've had a little money, and then I'm a real selfless person. So if I have it and I see you need it, I'm gonna shoot it as long as it's not breaking me or whatever.
Yeah.
But that caused me to realize that you can't help somebody by just giving them stuff.
You got to teach them.
You gotta give them knowledge and give them opportunity at the same time. So
you giving a man a fish and he's only gonna eat for a day. You're not teaching him how to fish so he can eat for a lifetime.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're able to not hurt from what you're giving to the person, but you're letting them know, like, look, this is what I did. Boom, boom, boom. This is how I suggest you to move with this. Boom, boom, boom. They mess it up. I'm the type of person, like, I can give somebody, if I had $500,000 and it wouldn't be shit to me to give somebody $5,000.
So if they take that $5,000 and blow it, then I
can tell them, like, look, you can take this 5 and turn it into 10, and I'm gonna show you how, and this is how quick. But if you do it your own way and you mess it up, you can't come back to me and be like, oh, well.
So which way is better?
It's not gonna work.
Which way is better? Okay, so you have a neighborhood that you grew up in. You know each person personally, like your buddies and everything like that. Mm-hmm. You know their strengths, their weaknesses, and all that.
I'm thinking that exactly. Yeah, we thought about this question before, obviously.
You know their strengths, weaknesses, and what they might be good at, what they're not going to be good at. Would it be better for you to actually say, look, I can't just
let me invest
this off money. Let me go ahead and actually, I'm gonna buy this, say like if it's
Are you trying to look at a mutual investment so therefore everybody can be satisfied?
No, I'm not saying no, because I'm not looking to be satisfied in the situation.
I'm not talking about you.
I'm talking about creating jobs.
Yeah.
So instead
That's a
of
mutual investment so people can be satisfied.
it doesn't not necessarily have to be
because if you give the money without looking for it in return, that's not an investment.
Exactly.
That's just you
So
giving
then,
the money, believing in the person.
why are you doing it if it's not mutually going to be satisfying
Because you
to
see-
yourself?
because-
Why
It
would
will
you do
be.
it?
Money does not
I
mean
know.
that
I'm
you're
not talking
satisfied.
about the money. I'm talking about the objective of making a mutual, concrete plan of some like investment
Because
to where
it needs
it's
to be
mutually
done?
Satisfying.
Because you're
Because
contributing to your actual
the
community.
growth of your community.
Exactly.
Okay,
You're
but this is what I'm saying. You asked me what would be my first intentions if I were to come across a large sum of money, and I'm telling you how I would distribute it amongst my immediate family and then my small circle of friends to where I knew everybody was straight. That's what gives me my circumference to be like, all right, I tried.
So do we need to get MC Hammer on the phone?
I came, I saw, I conquered. No, because I don't have a large circle of friends, and I'm not going around the world buying up a whole
It
bunch of
doesn't
gold
take
shit.
a large circle
I'm not
because
going around
doesn't
buying
take
a lot of gold shit. What I'm saying
it
is,
doesn't take a large circle because one, it became with him. It was a thing to where he spent a lot of money for himself, and then him not knowing. Okay, well, he thought that me hiring people from the hood would help the hood.
see, I don't think like that either.
But the thing is, well, it would work if what you hired the person for was creating some type of revenue.
I'm more
To
like
cover 'em.
I'll put it to you like this. I'm more like how I saw, for instance, here's an artist you guys know. Did you guys know Big Boy has an investment? He doesn't just do music. He has a side investment.
Big Boy's has many. He's always been a business orientated person.
Right. So
Big Boy was one of the first ones to start breeding, like having his own.
yeah,
breeds of
so
people.
so you see where I'm going with it. Like I'm more so thinking about stuff like that when you talk about trying to find a way
To help.
because then the money that I'm getting from my business, that business right there is going to continue to pour back into my, what I'm saying, it's giving in what I'm getting out of it. Plus, I'm able to take some of that extra money and then, like you said, okay, I'm going to throw free turkeys on Thanksgiving. I can go and, what I'm saying, give back, do a toy charity and all that. That I can see,
looks
but to
good.
buy like a big ass park and be like, oh yeah, it's just a park. I donated money to the city.
No,
and now
no,
y'all
that's
can
not
come
what
have
we're
a picnic.
saying. I'm saying, okay, so put it this way: we have a chain of restaurants. There was in Compton, in almost L.A. Gardena area. There's a restaurant called the Three Bears, and I've known this restaurant since I was young. My parents and them used to take us when we were young. In early 2000s, you would see them open for 6-7 months, close, open, and then they'll have another location. They're doing so good, close. Black owned. And actually, one of the girls when I went in there, the last time I seen her, and I'm like, you went to school? And she's like, yeah, my people own this and everything like that. We opened up another one and all that. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. 2 weeks later, I go back there, it's closed down. So I talked to her on Facebook, and she like, yeah, it's just like too inconsistent. Like as far as we don't have that much backing and all that or whatever, and then it's hard to kind of keep it up. So say like if LeBron's seen that, they're still there, they see that they've been working hard at it, they have good food, they need a little guidance and stuff like that. Says, you know what, instead of these fucking McDonald's that we putting on every corner, if you can come up with a menu that's healthier for us as a people and prices that are decent enough, and a business plan to where we can keep each one and franchise these here in our neighborhood, why not invest that same amount of money you invested or you would invest in a baseball team into these franchises, and at the same time you're giving jobs, you're taking unhealthy food out of the hood, and it's still an investment. The same way you invested in a team that's going to generate money in the end, you can invest in something that will generate money, generate jobs, and generate health and just overall a better situation for the hood.
I hate to break it to you, bro, but it's the same reason why we came on ships. And, you know, in the news lately,
That's not
the
all true.
rooms the rooms they get look a little different. I'm saying the rooms that they got, even though it was a tragedy, the rooms they got were a little different than the ship.
Hold on, Sway. Hold on, Sway.
Yeah, you ain't got all the answers, Sway. I want all the smoke.
Hold up. Where them ships at? Hold on, Sway. Where
That's
them
that
ships
mentality
at?
Kanye was talking
I'm
about.
just saying.
ships at?
I'm just saying. Look, I would look. I want change and I want hope too.
I understand you dark, but where them ships at?
But you know what? You keep your bleach braid self over there.
I'm just saying.
You know what?
Hey, look, he want to throw all that knowledge at me. Let me hit you with the real question.
I'm saying because I get what you're saying as far as
Big
the
up to Sway.
recipes and trying to big up to Sway for real. But I understand. I understand where you're going with like trying to create more black excellence as far as like food.
Just try, bro. That's all I'm saying. Try to. There's nobody trying to. Like,
but it's just like I told you. Like there's a doctor that in Africa came up with more cures for certain
you can't make a sound without action.
Certain diseases and stuff we got over there. But
I ain't never heard Dos Uno jump on the mic like that. Fuck all that shit.
Because if you can go out there, you can do Nike deals, get shoes. You can do liquor deals, get liquor.
Look,
you can turn around do clubs.
Like this. I'm gonna tell you guys like this.
You can't go in the hood and actually do a franchise for something that's gonna help the hood.
I know that they watching, and I got shit to do tomorrow, so don't come fucking with me. But I'm gonna tell you like this. There was a doctor, you can find a soundbite, I'm not going to say no names, I'll tell y'all off camera, but there's a doctor that went to one of the wealthiest actors that you guys know of and told him, look, this and this and that is how we can fight cancer, and it works. 99% works. I need your investment. And the dude was like, for what? Why would I do that? And he's well known.
But that's not the point, Mitch, because he's asking for money. They have the money already. I need your investment. That means that he's going to somebody else for help.
Because the other companies told him straight up, if we back you, we have a higher chance of all these tobacco companies coming after us trying to take us down because you're going to create a big ass margin.
The same dude that bought Wu-Tang's album bought a medication and raised the medication. Because he had the money, he did whatever he wanted to. If you have the money to, it don't matter. If you have the money to,
it don't matter.
And not in our space. No, it don't. Because who's going to fight him on that? Who's fighting you on or going into a black neighborhood? What you mean? How would you? It's plenty of ways to fight in the situation. It's plenty of ways, and we've shown it too.
They ain't fought Zimmerman. He's still kicking.
That's the thing. That's what I mean by it's plenty of ways for us to fight ourselves. And that's a fucked up statement, but it's plenty of ways, and we do it way more often than we should. Yeah. And we will do it to us before we do it to anybody else. So what the statement that you're making, it doesn't really fall in place.
That feels like here.
This nigga feel attacked. Hey, you gotta know. You gotta know that.
Don't step in that kitchen if you ain't ready to cook.
When it come down to it, the question is why haven't anybody really stepped in to do something like if a broke nigga like me, and I call myself a broke nigga
because
said a
broke nigga like me.
Hey, I ain't got it. Look, I ain't got to the point where I can say that I got it. I got enough to survive. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I got kids. I got enough to take care of my kids and all that.
I got enough for some car, man.
But if a nigga like me can come up with the concept of actually putting back into the hood the right way. Not the way the media wants to see it, not the way that looks good. Doing turkeys and shit on Thanksgiving, I mean, it looks good.
I'm about to say that ain't good at all. Hold up, wait a minute.
Just think about it.
If I was homeless, I'd be thankful for a fucking turkey. I'm sorry.
Nah, don't get it twisted. It's good, but it takes more than just that. It's like don't do it just to get credit from people. You want to do it to mainly take. Look, at the end of the day, everyone's trying to leave a legacy. All right. Do you want to have a false legacy where it's like, okay, he was good for the cameras? Or do you want people to actually genuinely sit back and say, wow, like my community is completely different because he actually took interest in, building a youth center.
Better that. I'll add something to that. How are you gonna feel as a man knowing that you could have did all this stuff and you just swindled your shit away, just being, I won't say selfish because I don't know what it is. It's greed the answer. Can you say it's just, They're greedy.
I won't
and
say
that's what
deep down all of us are greedy, but I will say deep down a lot of people
They don't use their
they
platforms the way
change
they
up.
use.
Like it's just sad, but a lot of celebrities they got that green thumb and they changed the fuck up. They changed up. Look at Kanye. He first came out so humble and
I think that when they get
Look
in
what
the
the fuck
mix,
happened.
I think when they get in the mix, it's a whole thing. And I've always said that about Kanye. Kanye's from the beginning has utilized certain things to get a step up. Every album that he had, it was something that he utilized to actually bump that album up. So when it comes down to it, each artist that's out or whatever, they wouldn't have to do. I won't say they don't have to do much, but the way I'm saying it, you might can take it as okay. They would have to invest millions on millions. Nah, bro, just start slow. Somebody start a trend.
You got to start the foundation somehow.
Something small though, like something that you know.
And I feel you, but I told you the only thing I worried about with that is you know how it is, bro. Like when you like you said before, if all three of us were to go walk down just an average street in Beverly Hills around 8 or 9 o'clock at night in a nice gated community, knowing we don't live there, what you think is gonna fucking happen? When
What's that got to do with the situation, though?
But I'm telling you, listen to me. When a security guard come rolling around, what do you think is gonna happen to us if we walking in a gated community? Just say we gated community over in Beverly Hills. We just walking, mind our own business. We just chilling, just walking.
But that's
no
not
drugs,
in
no
our hood.
alcohol, no nothing.
We don't live in Beverly Hood.
Right. We don't live in Beverly Hills. So think about it. So think about it. You got millionaires that are our color banding together to make a business. What the fuck you think gonna happen?
Some might call the cops.
No one's saying that they have to live in the hood, bro.
I'm not talking about
You're
living in the
saying
hood.
the
I'm talking about
business?
the principality in what you're asking. You're talking about people coming together. You're talking about
So you're
starting
saying it's
from the
impossible
bottom.
to come
I'm
together
not
as a
saying
black
it's
people.
impossible. I'm saying I'm looking at the pressure that you're putting on people to do that, and you're not looking at the third eye view of what is the people's mindset. I'm thinking of like, okay, well, yeah,
And that's the
that'd be
dangerous
dope,
part.
but that's what I'm talking about. Like,
when you know something needs to be done, when you know it would be beneficial to people, and then you get in your head and say, well, what if this happens? That's how you never get shit done.
Yeah.
When you question what you're trying to do,
or you get shit done that you really didn't want to have done.
regardless, you got some shit done. If you actually take, okay, that's some people that climb all the way up the damn diving board and get all the way to the edge and start
don't
looking.
jump. Yeah.
Start looking like, shit, what if I fucking break my leg when I get in?
There's a difference between jumping off a diving board and catching a fucking bullet. That we've seen repeatedly.
Well, look, hold on.
For generation to generation, off of money.
Let me go ahead and speak on that. The only way you're gonna be put into a bad position is if you're only putting that type of energy out. You know how many? Hold on. Let me have my
Niggas
moment.
is catching bullets in Hollywood. What do you mean?
I know, but look, a lot of these people are putting out energy, and guess what? That energy is coming back. All right. You don't know how many times I've sat here and told you, hey, put your energy towards something more worth it.
Dear Oprah and dear Diddy, can you please start building more supportive things in neighborhoods across the world since you guys have the money? Can you please do it?
Look, he said, "Dear Oprah," and hey, I'm with you. If you want to put that out, I'm with you. But if that's what you really mean,
And Eddie Murphy too, because I'm going through my Rolodex of you know what I'm saying, high end clients right now that I know for a fact that I consume.
But I can't really say that because
you have a lot of money to give.
the only thing I can really speak of is what I see in California. I see there's a lot of artists that come through here. There's a lot of
There's a lot of talent.
actors. There's a lot of wealthy. I won't say wealthy, but well-off black people that
Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, yeah.
that
Will and Jada.
that benefit off of
Beyonce.
being in California, but you don't really see them
Yeah.
or see any kind
there goes your table of leaders right there. You got J, B.
It don't have to be
Oprah.
leaders,
You got-
bro. They already
I'm
passed.
saying rich
They're
people that can
passed.
band together and have.
They're lost already.
They got more money than they would ever need. That can build as many things as they
You gotta
damn near
understand,
treasure.
when you hit a certain bracket, certain worries
saying-
and certain concerns, if you don't train yourself to constantly grow, or not, it doesn't have to technically be grow, but if you're not constantly showing yourself saying, all right, you know what, I'm gonna make sure that this part of LA, I'm gonna focus on making sure that this gets fixed. After a while, some people just simply get tired. And I mean, hey, it's okay to at some point in time just be like, you know what, this isn't going anywhere. Let me stop. But it's all about consistency.
So I got a question. So do you think that's why we're going through this? You know, I'm sure you guys have heard the term of ethnic cleansing in LA.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah.
I was about to. Is it worth them investing? Because say like if they do start putting up these chains and all that,
they're investing in areas that they know the community can't really recover from.
Exactly. So if say like if LeBron
So how do you
came
reverse
in,
that?
if LeBron, it's just
How
really,
do you play defense on that?
Easy.
it has to be your area. You have to dictate.
You have to control it.
Okay. So if say like those the projects. If they invested a certain amount of money, a certain group of people got together, invested a certain amount of money on rebuilding those projects to house a certain amount of people, and kept the rent to a certain,
I was just about to say,
a certain level, to where at the same time
It's
another
affordable.
group is investing in chains of stores and stuff like that, and their pay is decent to where those people can afford those.
You're trying to bring
And this is why I tell you the dangers of what you're trying to say, because you're not looking at the third eye. Both of you.
Fuck the third eye.
You know,
What you
ain't looking at it.
mean?
Because there's people involved that are
You're
blocking
saying that it's
structure.
going to be somebody that block it.
There
But that,
is. There's more than one.
Then what's stopping you from creating
exactly.
that?
So if I tell you you can't go out that door,
I'm
and your
not saying
daughter's
that it
outside
can't
on
be
the other
done,
side
but
of
I'm
the door,
telling
you're
you-
going to tell me that your thought
But I'm
process
telling you,
is somebody blocking the door?
you don't think we've all been on this earth long enough to understand where we came from and how certain transitions have happened in our culture.
I don't agree with that.
You don't think you've been here long enough to understand your
That's a
culture?
danger, bro. That's a dangerous mindset.
Because I'm gonna tell you this right now, all right? Out of everyone in this room, all right, I've been in a situation where I've seen both sides of the coin. I've grown up in the hood, but I've went to the other side of the mountain, all right? So I've seen Beverly Hills and I've seen Watts. That's technically what I've seen, all right? So the point is, it's like when you're in that mindset of saying, oh, you know what? This is going to happen. Oh, you know what? That's going to happen. Then what you're doing is you're literally giving up before you even try.
No, what I'm saying is throughout history, it's always been shown. You could try to root and have that, but at the end of the day,
Are we
until
really basing this conversation off of history?
No,
I was
I'm
about to say, 'cause
showing you.
we
I'm
all know
showing
who
you. I'm
wrote
showing you.
that.
Because look at
Yeah.
it like this. Look at it like this. Look at it like this. Okay, if that's the case, then why the fuck don't we have our own leagues anymore?
Because of the simple fact that we didn't invest in our own stuff.
Okay, so you're saying that
think
you
about
never
it,
invested. You never invested in FUBU, my nigga. None of y'all had any black-owned
Invested
products.
how? Yeah, we had
I'm-
black-owned products, but
yeah.
that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. They were fighting against certain. Okay, so
And my thing is, when you did invest into that, did you look at to see what those investors were doing with that money?
okay, just look at it this way. No, we didn't. I'll answer that. No, we don't. We don't really look into what they're investing in. But the thing is, and it goes back to my point of we can do shoes, clothing, and all that. That's all the wrong shit to invest in. None of that shit creates value. None of that shit helps community.
You're not
I'll
at
give you that
all.
one.
So that's kind of what
you're feeding people. You're not teaching them how
You're
to eat.
stepping
Real
in a-
estate is more so.
I'll put this. This is the way the reason why I asked this question. When black people get a lot of black people get wealthy, rich enough to where they invest stuff. They invest in what
It's good for them.
not for them. What is safe for them, and all for the consumer. So most of the stuff that they invest in is something that they're going to actually generate from the hood buying, like Jordan.
100% profit is what you're saying. They do.
It don't have to be 100%. Just there's nothing that's going to actually come full circle back to help the hood. It's always something that we can benefit the same way that same mentality of the same mentality that most of these
I told y'all
basketball
not to sing that damn song earlier.
the same mentality that these basketball owners have, that these football owners have, and all that. If you think about it, and this is a sad thing to say, if you think about everything that we push the youth and everything right now to actually, the sports, music, and all that is still based almost off of slavery. Because if you think about it, athletic.
Oh, that shit's like
That's something that was a
They're like
commodity.
cattle.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so talent, singing,
you're purchasing someone.
that was part of slavery too. That it's all this whole
Boxing.
everything. Yeah,
Anything
you get what I'm saying.
entertainment.
So
Definitely a
we
part of
are
slavery.
pushing as a black community. That's what we think is the way out of the hood.
Yeah,
when
it's
actually it's
entertainment.
directly into where they want us to be. So that narrative of the third eye, I get what you're saying, but you have to have because you get out of the hood.
But that's why it goes back to like I was trying to tell you earlier. I said, okay, but then that makes you think. You said that there's, there's wealthy, better off bank owners or high bank executives that are African American, but that's what I'm telling you. Those ones are the ones that need to step up and band together and start their own trend and do something. Because you could tell a celebrity, okay, do that, but he's got to go through these other people.
There's no pressure for him to do that.
But
what
the
I'm
thing
saying
is,
if you're in the public light, the public can see you. They can actually see you. They see that you capitalize off of them every day. Everything that's based on your success is because of them. That's who you put the pressure on first. Because if you're putting it on bankers and stuff that like half of the community don't know anybody that's
I got an idea.
A wealthy black.
Why don't each of us pick a famous person and write them a letter asking that same exact question, see if any of them respond back? You think any of them going to respond back?
That don't solve shit though.
I'm not asking if it's going to solve. I'm just saying let's look at the recoil from just that effect, just to see if they would, just to see, because my thing is like this. If I'm buying your products,
let everybody pick a letter.
No, I'm saying each of us pick one celebrity that we were like, okay, maybe they'd be a real one, and then we'll respond back.
Okay, I'll take. That's what I mean.
That's
by
a ripple
pressure.
effect, right?
That's what I mean by
one.
pressure. So LeBron comes here, and everybody in a certain community says we will never buy a liquor ticket unless we see some return back as far as you actually genuinely. And I'm not saying LeBron because from what you hear, he puts a lot into Akron. And then on the same note, he hired his friends. He hired, you know what I'm saying? So he's kind of a bad example to use. But if LeBron came and you see him just walking around comfortable in L.A., why sit up there and tax him like they do with
different celebrities?
Why tax him with the gang banging shit and say, hey, do for the hood, and then it's going into some game maker pocket, as opposed to putting pressure on him and saying, look, they about to shut this shit down over here.
Help us.
They're about to capitalize off of this. We need you to help us do this shit so that the community, the same community that's your core fans, we might not be able to come and see you like that because a lot of us can't afford the tickets. But I guarantee you, when shit go downhill, it's going to be us that's still rocking with you in order for you can do other business ventures and shit like that after.
Safety nets.
Exactly. So with Magic is a perfect example because we used to run over there to that TGIF and the Magic Johnson Theater and all that shit just because we knew it was Magic shit.
Yeah. But it's funny because black people purposely went there. And it got to known for drama, but at one point it was like one of those things where it was just like, where are you going? Matt John's Theater. You'd be like, oh, okay, you about to go hang out with all the niggas down there.
But and it was kind of like a little G code. Yeah, it was a little G code. Don't fuck with anything over there off of La Sierra or wherever it was or whatever. Don't mess up. Don't fight. If y'all get into some shit, go down the road. Something
take
like
that shit somewhere else.
And
the theater, I can't say the same shit.
Let me switch gears just for a second.
Ratchet.
You know what I'm saying? Because we went through almost every topic now, right?
We good.
So
almost. It's almost cue time.
We ain't doing that tank.
Let me get
tank talk. No.
Let me get the open floor right quick.
We gonna have to get that on the next one.
on that note, like, okay, one thing I will say too though is, in our community, it's like it seems like even if we do shift though, we don't try to like start over in the right light sometimes. No. Because like I told you, where I'm at, I'm technically supposed to be in the suburbs. It don't feel suburb at all where I'm at right now. Because, like, I ain't gonna lie, I was skeptical about moving back to the, to the desert, and I'm not gonna name exactly where because I don't need people looking for me and shit. But I moved back, and it was a trip because it was like I don't know, like 11 o'clock at night. I'm going in my apartment, just like all right, put my shit down, sitting there. All of a sudden, I'm just hearing boom. Boom, boom. And I'm like, the fuck? Hold up. This is supposed to be a quiet community. I'm where
this nigga said, the niggas is here.
Yeah, like I'm like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying?
And you don't feel comfortable with that.
Like, no, it's not that I didn't feel comfortable because at first I was looking for some life because I'm like, damn, I'm gonna be the only person here like that want to turn up, and it's like, I don't want to be the out and out. But I say that to say this. It's like, okay, but then I go outside, I'm starting to see people out in the parking lot. I'm trying to see all the The riffraff type shit, and it's like, and you know, and I don't want to stereotype my people because you know I love my people, but at the same time, it's like you're given a brand new complex, okay, affordable, and a lot of people don't realize like why then they start to do shit like up the rent and try to get you the fuck up out of there.
Bro, but they sell us this beat. They sell us these music. This music. They all this stuff that we're buying that makes us ghetto.
But what does that have to do?
They're putting it out there.
They're putting it out there. So just think about it. The same way they're putting that out there, they're putting out the narrative of that not being safe, that not being cool, that being ghetto. So you can't be in that mind frame of not being able to be comfortable around your people.
But my question is this: is it ghetto to get mad at someone for not letting you into the gate of a complex because they don't know you and throwing rocks at their car? Is that
Wait,
normal or is that ghetto?
Wait,
is that normal or is that ghetto? I'm just saying. I've seen that.
Are you mixing T.I. and Joe Budden together? Because he threw rocks because a nigga came at him sideways.
No, I'm talking about. I've seen
and
that.
T.I. said something because of the security guard was sleeping. He was sleeping first off, and then he said something foul to his wife.
But
so the nigga needed his ass beat anyway.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, if you live in a gated community and the person in front of your car is refusing to let if there's a person in front of the car in front of your car, right? And they're refusing to let that person come in the gate, so they're playing like they don't have a way in. That person is sitting there like, well, what the fuck? Like, either you go. Oh,
he don't want to let you in
because he doesn't know that person that's in front of you.
That's not ghetto. This is a thing to where people done gotten to the mindset of we don't want you in here.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but my thing is, then the person gets irritated, like, okay, well, you're not letting us in because you think that we don't live here.
You're supposed to. It's an issue. That's one thing that I don't get. If there's an issue, address the shit. Like, we've gotten to the point to where people think they can do certain stuff. They can be disrespectful first. If that ain't got nothing to do with you. If a nigga came in behind you, you go about your business and then let somebody else know, hey, a vehicle just came in behind me. I'm pretty sure they didn't have that. Go about your business.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. But if you're sitting there making it a point to just sit there, you asking for help. For trouble. And anything that you got that come to you, you ask for the shit.
Once again, when you put negative energy out, negative energy comes back.
That's what it comes down to.
I don't know. I think it's because I'm more conservative when it comes to, like, I wouldn't make it a thing to want to start throwing rocks at their car and acting ignorant with them. I just be like, you know what, you want to act stupid? All right, I'll park my ass right here. You're gonna open the gate.
I can easily ask you, why is that person that's in the front? How do they get to judge who comes in and out of there?
I mean, yeah, hands down, they shouldn't be trying to play judge. But at the same time, as a person that's behind them
first, anything come behind that, you ask for it.
So then, when you get arrested, when the cops come because you want to sit there and be ignorant, then you ask for that too. Then
because you were ignorant.
Because you can
comply or you can
most
be
definitely
ignorant.
You could actually
you have choices in life.
In that state, it could have been a thing too where you don't have to react at all.
But this is that's what I'm saying. Like, I think at some point, people gotta understand, like, okay, even if you see wrong, you know what I'm saying, this goes back to the Martin Luther King thing. Sometimes you gotta take the upper road on that. Like, that's one of those situations where I feel like, okay, you guys know me, I'm a hothead, but I'm looking at this situation like, all right, you ain't gonna let me in the gate, cool. I'm gonna back up right here. I'm gonna let the next person go. The gate gonna open up again. I'm gonna take my ass on in there. I'm not gonna sit here and get out of my car and act a fool.
No, I get that. You have a decision to make at that point. But what we fail to realize is a lot of the times that somebody's actually reacting to something, and the person that's actually doing the disrespect in the beginning, they never get caught. A lot of the times they don't get caught. It's always the second person, the person that react, that ends up getting,
And that's what I'm saying.
You can be stupid for reacting, but the person that's actually, that doesn't say that the person that actually disrespected you didn't warrant that reaction. There's always cause and effect.
I was going to say, why can't people just understand that? Let God take care of your revenge. Stop like thinking to yourself like, oh, if someone did something shady, and I'm not even gonna lie, black people are guilty of this, that we are quick to react instead of sitting there and thinking of the possible consequences that's gonna come from our actions. Because we felt like we've been suppressed for so damn long, where we feel like no one listens to us, that we have to react in order for respect to be given. But in reality, our silence is sometimes our strongest thing.
But it can be our weakest thing.
That's true. And I will say this, though, because after I kept hearing the thump, right, I got up, I went to my balcony, I looked down, and I just happened to notice that I now live above a house full of some beautiful women. And they were playing this dope ass song, and for a minute I was like, wait a minute, who that shit sound familiar? And I was like, wait a minute, no. And then it was funny because right when I heard the song, I get a fucking text message talking about, have you heard the new T-Pain remix to Boot Up? And I'm like, that must be what the fuck is playing down there. Because I heard the shit, and I was like, wait a minute, that is who the fuck I heard on that shit. Because I heard the melody and was like, wait a minute, I've heard the song, but then when I heard his verse over it, I was like, wait a minute.
The T-Pain
killed that shit.
He killed shit.
T-Pain, boy.
You queued already? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we kind of ready. Yeah,
bruh.
So it got a little bit hot in here. That's
That's why the AC got turned on finally.
Finally, man.
They was like, these niggas talking about some heat over here.
But yeah,
know what I'm saying?
it's all good discussion though. Like, this is the type of topics that need to be discussed, not with just us, but with everybody. And I think that would be helpful to the community, and not just with us, just period. Shit needs to be talked about and addressed, and I think that a lot of the times it doesn't get addressed because it makes people uncomfortable. Some shit needs to be uncomfortable before shit really happens.
And that's not up for discussion.
I ain't even worried about them really though. I'm just looking at you. Shit, you know. You got them big ass hips, god damn. Got the body of a goddess.
Let that shit play.
Got eyes for the pink and brown. I see you, girl. She coming down from the ceiling.